trauma. Do you think that a person can fully heal from past trauma?
Yeah, I do. I do. And that's a tall order, definitely, because it depends on what has happened. And I don't think you have to be in therapy for, 3, 5, 25 years either. I think that you can understand the foundations of how to heal yourself and then just know, and it takes some practice, it's repetition, but to know how to look after yourself in that way. And you have to work with someone depending on what that was. We don't see our own blind spots. And for me, I just go to the root when I'm working with someone. So like, tell me no, you have to tell me what happened. I don't need to know. I actually just want to know what is bothering you right now. What are the things that you're tripping up on each day? Is it your husband's not talking to you, or in business, you're coming up across the same scenario every single time, or you have a really great program, but no one's coming in. It's crickets, all of those things. It's our medicine to tell us where that root is or what it is. And then I just go back. When was the first time you felt like that? And it's so cool to see like the light bulb go off.
Yes.
Because yeah, and I'm going to go a little bit deeper here for you, like just so people can understand kind of like where this can be or where that trauma can be. It could be something that happened to you in your lifetime, definitely. And I feel it's a lesson that you've come here to learn. And that's the law of polarity, the dark and the light. Okay. So we have everything within us. And so if you have a lack of confidence, especially in business, maybe, that's like the negative part for you. So the lack of confidence is what's up high, but you have confidence within you. It's just not what you're focused on. So the law of polarity is we'll just get you to a place where we'll bring that confidence out. And there's a way to do that, but why aren't you confident? Why are you hiding? There's a message behind there. It's your medicine, which is so beautiful. What triggers you? More of your medicine, because it's just going to tell me what your patterns are. Once you know your patterns, you're like, it's so much easier to objectively look at yourself. So now my pattern growing up, I don't know my bio dad. So my pattern was abandonment and rejection. Can I tell you how much that has affected my dating life, my marriage, my business, all of that? Because as you do one thing, you do everything. And so by being able to heal that and to release it, it's been a progress, definitely, but I've healed it, which is so beautiful and so amazing. So now I can observe when I'm in a scenario and I feel like I'm going back down that same path of this doesn't feel safe. I'm back in my fight or flight. I feel like I'm being rejected. Maybe, I'm dating again. So maybe someone doesn't message me back 4 days. Okay. So now I'm back in my junk, right? And it's like, okay, let me have a look at the scenario and again, am I taking it on of my old story of I'm being rejected, or can I just hold space that maybe something happened and actually just happened and something had in the family? So it's just rewiring and looking at it from a different perspective instead of the old stories we've been telling ourselves for decades over and over and over. And then when we're working, or like when you're looking at it, you can do this for yourselves as well. Like think about what is your pattern? What keeps coming up? When's the first time you felt like that? Or if you're feeling low, what must I believe about myself in order to feel this way? It's going to be one of the lower. Anger is what we mostly say, but it's not even anger. It's shame, or there's guilt, or there's fear. There's something lower that you didn't feel worthy or accepted, or people passed over you. Something like that is usually the root. There's not that many, thankfully. And then I go back to what was it like growing up in your home. I can tell you so much about how you were raised. And your coping methods now. What was it like in the womb when you were there? If you don't know your parents and you're adopted, then that's a whole other story. And it's not feeling safe and secure on the earth. If you're a chakra person, that's base chakra, healing there. And then generational. We were in our grandmother's eggs. And so what kind of fears and gifts, think about the gifts that they give us as well. But when you're looking at what's bothering you, it's like, okay, what was grandma's fears? Well, my grandma was abandoned by her mom. And so there's the energy of me feeling abandonment. I actually came into the world with it because that was the energy and the feeling, the emotions that was in grandma's eggs. When then I came, it skips a generation. So then I came. But then you can also look at your parents. Was it a single parent? Was it two parents? Were they fighting? Was it a good scenario? But maybe you had a great family, but something really tragic happened in the family, and now they weren't emotionally available for you. You took on a story of not being worthy. We all have a story. We all do. So it's just like, what's yours? Let's figure out what it is, because you can heal it, and then you're not going to trip yourself up going forward. Because if you don't, you're just going to keep attracting the same thing. The universe is just going to keep bringing that to you, because it's a core belief of what you believe about yourself. And so that will just keep coming up again and again until you heal it and release and clear it. The other way, if you want to go like super spiritual, is it could be past lives. And that's just the extra part that we go.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Speaking of all of this, there's a lot of hesitation. Now obviously years out, speaking about this is no big deal. But I remember first kind of dabbling in, personal development, EDMR, NLP, hypnosis, and
Right.
kind of being chakras, kind of being like, is the devil gonna come and
Right.
be in my bedroom with me? It's nerve
It's
wracking. it
real.
can it can
Mhm.
be really, it could feel dangerous. So what were the first steps? Like, do you remember your first
Yeah,
steps when you first started dabbling
I
in
do.
personal
I
development?
do. And I love this conversation, because there are so many modalities or ways that people can go for healing that is against everything that you and I were taught, in religion. And it is, even the Roman Catholics, they fall into this category as well, or any other strict religion. Um, for me, I went to my first Reiki session, and I was afraid because I didn't know what was going to happen. And I went, but I went closed. Like, I was like, okay, I'll book a session to check it out, right? Because I'm in this
Wow.
discovery phase of like, what do I believe? And I had heard of Reiki, and I had some family members that had gone, and they had really good experiences. So I thought, I want to try it. It was only $25. So I thought, okay, I'll give it a whirl for this one healer. She was in her beginning stages. And so I went, and she was normal. And the one thing I remember was that she said, you have an Indian guide. That was new for me. I'm like, okay, all right. I don't like, sure. And she said, he just has his arms open wide to you, and this river of love is just flowing towards you. And I thought, okay, that's cool. It's not scary. Nothing happened. I've never seen him. Maybe that's something for me in the future. I don't know. But I went back for another session, and she had put down an oracle card. Like, she had oracle cards, and you could pick one. And I thought, well, okay. I was already given a deck. It was all about fairies. It was like a kindergarten deck. But so I was open to oracle cards at that point. And to me, they're affirmations. It's just like, friends in a box, as one healer calls them. It's a nice message for the day. Like, go sit in nature, or, tap into your heart, or heal your heart, whatever the message is. It's always on point for me. It's really incredible. Or when I'm doing a reading for someone else. And so I picked a card, and it was my birthday that day. And I had gone to the gift shop, and I purchased a heart with a key on it, an old fashioned key, and the key had my initials on it. And I was searching for a new place to live, and I thought, this will be like our new decoration, right? Something new. And I turned over the card, and it was my birthday, and it was a girl holding birthday balloons, standing on an egg, which is creation. And in the middle of the egg was a box, and it had the keyhole that fit into the old fashioned key
Yeah.
fit into the hole. And so she goes, oh, look, it fits right in, and I'm thinking, oh, that's just a good sign. I'm going to find my new place. Like, I just felt really good about that. But what I now know is I was finding my home was my heart. I was
Oh.
finding the way home to myself. And I have goosebumps, because I have spent my whole life on the run, in flight, because of the religions and my divorce and all of that. I wasn't able to sit still long enough, right, to go within and heal my own stuff. It's scary to heal our own stuff. And so I traveled, and I used travel as an addiction. And with that came alcohol and sex and, all of that. And so I've always been running, 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 and nowhere ever felt like home. I was a nomad, or like a gypsy, but nowhere felt home until thankfully the lockdown happened, because I had nowhere to go. I used to be gone every weekend. Like, I would fill my schedule so packed full that I would never be home alone with my own self and my own thoughts. Part of that, I think, was, the religion, like go, 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 serve, serve, serve.
Yeah.
But, I've been able to heal a lot of that, and even just heal being able to sit at home and watch a movie and not feel guilty that I should be doing something else. Right. So a lot of healing has come from that. And then after the Reiki session, I go home, it's my birthday, my cousin, she brought me a gift, and I'm telling her the story like I just did with the Oracle card. She's like, you got to open your gift. And I'm mid story, and I'm like, don't interrupt me, like you're being a jerk. She's like, you got to open the gift. So I opened the gift, and it's the same deck that I opened at the Reiki session. And I was like, wow, okay, I'm listening.
Wow.
Hey, God, sword, whatever you are, I'm listening. Because there's just so many synchronicities. Like the whole way home, it was like the red carpet was rolled out for me. Like everything just fell into place where I started to notice. Then I started to notice numbers, 111, 444, 555, just like over and over, right? And so those are some of the other signs. And it could be you see visions. It could be that you feel people's energy. That could be another spiritual awakening sign. There's so many different ones. I've been moderating in a beautiful group on Clubhouse for spiritual awakenings and like what to do when they come, especially if you've been raised religious and that this is stuff that is taboo for us or was, then it can be really scary because is something negative going to come into your home? And I would say, no, it is all consciousness, whether it is a heavier energy or a lighter energy, it's all consciousness, whether, dense or not. And so it's just asking for love. Just come into love. I am love. I am light. Sing a song that's of love, and it will just disappear. It will go away if there is anything in your field, but not to be afraid of it. Like when we're in a vibration of love, the lower vibration things, whether it's someone who's angry or, it just melts away. It goes away because it can't find you anymore. You're not in that vibrational match to it anymore. So after that, I started studying with a medium, which again, totally against what we were taught. I would tell people not to go to readings. They'd be like, oh, do you want to come to a medium with us this weekend? And I'm like, no, and give all the reasons of why not, which is so funny now, because now I'm like, I can channel like one, which is really funny. We all can, we just were never taught. And so I started to study with one. We went for a coffee. We just met through another program. And again, leery, go. I'm like, okay, she's normal. She looks like she could be my neighbor, not some weirdo or like a gypsy in a skirt or anything. And she read me, like she just shared some things that really spoke into my heart. But the one thing I really remember is I walked home with a spring in my step that just felt so good and so warm. And I just had some more hope for the direction in my future. I shared some things that I wanted, and she's like, oh, well, you could do this, this, and this. And I was like, thank you. It's almost like she gave me permission to live my life the way that I want to. Wow. And I just felt so good. So I took some quantum healing from her. And then I was part of a healing group. This is really powerful, especially if you've come from religion, because energy healing is just simply, it's right now I can do it where Sabrina, I could just like kind of close my eyes or go into a meditation state for myself. You don't even have to be with me. I just have to know your name, and I can kind of just do a scan, and I'm tapping into the quantum field, to energy. We're all on the same grid. And what does Sabrina need? What is it? And messages can come. And so that's how the energy healing works, is every day for Monday to Friday, we would do a 45-minute session on the person who asked for healing. Didn't know them, never met them. We just knew their name and what they were dealing with. And I remember one lady, she had told us she had really bad arthritis in her hands, and she had to put she couldn't hold the phone. She had to type with it down on the counter or whatever, her messages. And she messaged us saying that she was holding her phone to text us the message saying, thank you for the healing, that we were releasing the arthritis in her hands. And I cried, and I was like, just think of that. If you are not even, you're so sick in your hands that you can't even hold your phone. Wow. And how dependent we all are on them. And so just so moved. And I thought, you know what, the power of this that we've been held back from is so incredible, and how just through energy healing, you can heal anything. And that's a very bold thing to say, but I'm telling you, whether it's like releasing stuck emotions in yourself from your trauma, really understanding how the body works. This is the metaphysics now of like energy is just emotions are energy in motion. So if you're crippled or you're feeling some kind of pain, it's a message saying, hey, pay attention. And that's where the chakras are really helpful. Again, they're not some weird thing like we were taught, or like stay away, they're evil. All they are, from a science base, is nerve endings in your spine all the way up. So it's these different clusters of nerve endings that
Mm-hmm.
lead to an organ or parts of your arm or like whatever. And so when you know where you're hurting in your body, we can tell where that's coming from in the chakra. Release and heal. Usually it's stuck emotions, and then the pain goes away, or you feel good, or the headaches go away. Like headaches are, and migraines are, lack of boundaries. So if you have something in your life that's happening and you're not standing up for yourself, the headaches can come on. It can be dehydration as well. Like there's a few things to check, definitely. But if regular medicine isn't working, or you've been to the doctor and they can't figure out what's wrong with you, come and find an energy healer, because I'm telling you, they'll ask you some questions or even just tap into you and can give you some answers that is going to heal and release. You can have an energy healer work with you and not have to have surgery, which blows me away. It's called psychic surgery, where they can actually go in and heal what it is, or heal the emotions behind it. And then you go to the doctor and they say, oh, it's healed. What have you been doing? Like, it's amazing. So amazing. It's just stuff that we can't explain. And that is just really, that is energy. That is connecting to the quantum field, source, creator, God, whatever your comfort word is.
Wow, absolutely.